Okay, the last train to Delaware. Wait a minute, is that too many syllables? Well, you'll figure it out. All right, here we go. Daddy boy, if you please. Last. Last train.
Michael, the piece that you are about to talk with me about is a piece that seems kind of like a video version of audio looping, but it's more complicated than that. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's video looping.
Okay.
It is very complicated. It's a bit of a gear stripper when you're first starting to learn it. I try to, like I said, I kind of go into a fugue state when I'm doing this, and I just concentrate on the choreography. Once you've got the choreography down, you have a pattern you're following, and then you're using the video looping itself to cue yourself, to remind yourself where you are.
Okay.
I've done it long enough that oh boy, I wish I had some wood to knock. I've done it long enough that I think I'm in the zone. I got what I'm doing. But if I make one little mistake, that mistake is then in my face. Oh, it's compounded, and I get to see it 4 more times.
Right.
You know.
So your practice is already one in which your hands up here, your eyes are down here. Yeah. You're not looking at a mirror. You're looking at the actual frame that the audience is seeing.
Exactly. So everything's backwards.
But then, in addition to working backwards, you're also placing him at specific points in the screen over the course of the looping.
Exactly. And
am I right that all of these lines on the stage have something to help you?
Yeah, well, the triangle here shows the focal view. You know, so if we step over this yellow line, we're clear. Right?
Right, of course, right.
Because the way the lens works, it's the image spreads out. It also goes like this way too. So the farther I go back,
the higher you have to.
Yeah, and I got to get a little lower when I go closer. Wow. I think that's the way that works.
You eventually kind of build that into your body about how much to go up and down too.
And if you're a taller puppeteer, you build this into your body. So you know you're sharing the frame with your not as tall. But on the floor, I've got 4 marks on the floor that are specific for this bit.
Okay.
And I kind of see those out of the corner of my eye, and I plant 1 foot here, and I know, well, I start actually on this one over here, and I know he's going to be over here. Okay. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to bring him back over here, and he does his business here. And the key thing is, after he does his little dance, he does what we call the barn door. And the barn door comes in at the end of the bit, where he and his soon-to-be video loop partner open the, I'm on the wrong side. Actually, change with me.
So sorry.
Opens up like this and like this. Now change with me again.
Okay.
And the other guy's going to come in the next beat. He's going to do this. And that is all for and then 2 other puppets are going to come in down here at the bottom. They're going to be down here and over here. But when that magical moment happens, the barn door opens, the big finish happens where you run up here and you wait for that barn door to open for yourself. And then he comes in center and for the big finish, ta-da.
Wow.
Problem is you got to make sure you have that barn door clean. Otherwise, he's going to occlude the image and ruin the effect.
And he's crossing over. And when he does cross over, it does ruin the effect?
It does, yeah.
So it's pretty easy then to screw up.
That's the good way of looking at it. Yeah, it's very easy to screw up. Yeah, that's why I try to go into that state of don't think about it.
Yeah.
Just put it in your bones, try to get it right, and use what you see as the loop as your cue to make sure you're in the right place.
So the moment you put him up and I see him in frame, it's funny.
Yeah.
Like right away.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. His color against this background is hilarious. Do you ever lose focus because you're laughing at what's happening?
I can't afford to lose
focus. I was going to say.
I can't. No. I'm terrified, I think is what's going on.
Yeah. It really feels, I mean, improv alone is a high wire act, but this feels like a way more.
Yeah. I remember the rehearsal when Brian Henson sprung this on me. He had me stay after rehearsal. Oh, you're going to do the Usher. I'm going to do the what now? I'm going to who? That thing that's really complicated, that's really hard to do. And he taught it to me without the machine. Because we can't have the machine here every night. I did it on a piece of notebook paper and I charted out all the different parts and stuff like that, and then practice it at home. Just knowing
without the machine.
Yeah, I try to think of it 2 ways. One, without the machine, it's almost better because I can just concentrate on that choreography and make sure I've got those beats right.
Right.
And then when I get with the fancy stuff with the machine here, then I can see the effect and see how it loops and make sure I'm not occluding, make sure I'm not running into myself.
So what was it like the first time you did it with the machine?
I don't think it was good.
Okay.
I think I learned a lot.
Right,
You know, I
right.
learned from failure. You know.
How long have you been doing this bit?
That's a good question. I think about 7 or 8 years. I think I've been doing this bit,
Um,
yeah. And I share the bit with other performers. Other
Right,
performers, they do different genders and everything like that. And it's really great. A lot of performers put their own stamp on it. I do the classic, the original Coke version of the thing.
Okay.
I just like to keep it simple. And
Yeah.
for me, it's a lot about the character I've come up with. This old vaudevillian guy that tells dirty jokes and stuff before he does the bit and everything like that.
It strikes me that doing this regularly would inherently make you a little even better at your proprioception of where the camera frame is. Does it? Does
I
it
think so.
improve your puppeteering?
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, and every challenge is hopefully going to make you a better puppeteer. Yeah, for sure.
Bishop, you are the lead video technician here, and this routine feels familiar. It feels like a musician building an audio track with a bunch of loops, but I understand that that's not quite what's happening here.
That's correct. So what's actually kind of happening is we're actually using a delay machine. And what a delay machine is, it's actually used for TV. In case they need to stop someone like from cussing or something like that. You know,
like a
bleep
bleep.
it out. There you go. Yeah,
Okay.
bleep it out. That's what this is used for.
But so wait a minute, the loop is created by a box originally designed to hopefully stop people from cursing or showing body parts on television.
So yes and no.
Okay.
So what this is actually doing, it's delaying what's actually going out onto stage right
So it's
now.
buffering.
It's buffering, correct.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're putting a key on top of that. And then we're sending that out of program.
A key. You
Yes.
mean a key off of the background?
Off of the background. This blue wall here, we're keying that blue off of it. So we have a puppet in front of that. And so there's nothing behind them, right?
So you're able to get rid of the background around
Yes.
them. And that's
So-
a separate piece of machinery.
That's going to be using our switcher machine here. So this switcher is actually both keying and actually creating that loop.
Whoa. I mean, look, my job forever has been using tools for reasons they were never intended for. But this is amazing because that was totally not intended to
No.
be any kind of looping machine.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that this even, Brian thought of using this at all is insane.
Is its advantage over a standard video loop, is there just less latency? Is that the reason it's so good at what it does?
So what I believe is that this machine actually, in terms of like having an advantage over other machines,
Yeah.
what's happening is this is such a direct line that, like you said, that latency is going to be non-existent for the most part. And what was great about this machine is that I think we mentioned it before, but this actually we can control through frames, not seconds. And that's a big factor too.
Oh, because there's 29.9 frames in a second.
Yeah.
Is that what you're...
Well, actually,
Oh.
we're running 59.94.
Oh, okay. Double
right.
speed.
So even more specific,
Yeah.
and we need a machine that we can actually adjust manually to get that timing right. Because our music track that I play back here also has a specific timing for when every puppet's supposed to be back together. So it has to match that up exactly, or else the effect will not work.
So we were just talking to Michael about the puppeteering of this, and he's talking about all the different things he's got to remember physically. And here you are backstage having to do a lot of the same stuff.
Yes.
You're having to keep, because it's timing based,
Yep.
yes, and it's
Yep.
music, and you have to hit these at the right. Damn.
Exactly. Now, I will say the benefit is because it's music based, it really is you start the tempo and you let it go.
Right.
Which is
right.
great, right? But no, that's
But you need
exactly
your
right.
focus.
Exactly.
Like you're right there.
Yeah.
And you have had screw-ups on stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the audience of screw-ups at a performance like this a little more forgiving?
I would say so. I also would hope so.
Fair enough.
Because it's an improv show, right?
Yeah.
You never kind of know what's going to happen. And oftentimes, they're just stuck in the wonder of, I didn't know how they did that in the first place.
Right.
So,
Being an old theater nerd, I always think the best show is backstage, right? Like
I'd agree.
But I'm curious if you've ever gotten lost in the performance and almost missed your timing because you're
Yes.
watching what they're doing. Yeah,
All the time,
I-
actually.
I would imagine that's an occupational
Yeah.
hazard for the show.
Any improv bit with, I think, there's a bit called Talent Show with Colleen who leads that.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. She's so funny. And then Drew's Bond as well, which is another piece that uses delay, is another one where I get wrapped into his song and then I'm like, all right, I have to hit buttons here. That's what I do.
I love this. It's
Yeah.
so great that it feels, the way you describe it, sounds like a cobbling together of multiple things, but it is actually just a beautiful system you've built to elicit this great performance.
That's exactly it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm gonna try to talk you through this.
Okay.
Like I said, I go into a Zen state, so we're gonna take me out of the Zen state and let's gonna see what happens. Usually what I do, I get a name of the dance from the audience so they know it's real improv and we're not just, doing some trick. So help me come up with the name of the dance, something like a something, 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 like the something, something shuffle or...
Orange Sunshine Shuffle.
The Orange Sunshine Shuffle. Now, usually I would build that phrase in a loop. You're not gonna see me loop it right now because I'm gonna try to talk you through this. Okay, so that's right, that's the name of the dance, the Orange Sunshine Shuffle. Bishop, you know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna make my first pass. Here we go. First barn door. And he dances a little bit. Important door. I'm gonna copy, I'm gonna mirror that. And here he comes, over here.
Whoa!
And, we're dancing together. And barn door. Sunshine! And those two guys have cued me in, and I'm gonna dance with them. Hello. Shuffle! I think. And here comes the cell, right? And I wait for that barn door to open. After these guys get done jumping around.
Amazing!
Ta-da! All right, let's do Act 2.
Incredible. It's like I know magicians and I know how they do their tricks, but it's still amazing.
Yeah.
That was absolutely riveting.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Again, I try not to think about it too much.
I can see why, because you're never crossing through the same space twice.
That's the goal. You're trying to make these layers not occlude themselves. Yeah. And boy, you sure know when you screwed it up.
That might even get a bigger laugh, I imagine, in this show.
Sure, I hope so. That'd be a generous audience. That'd be lovely.
Last train!
And that was Mr. Michael Oosterom as the entire Usher Brothers Quintet. Michael, come out and take a bow. And Dan Garza on little tap shoes.